Hey, what is going on, everybody? You already know it is not Wednesday. It is Thursday. It is the Dallas Cowboy 215 Boys pre-game kick-ass Seahawks show. My name is Paul Spencer. That is the little brother right there, Dave Yarnell, the showstopper. Dave, what's going on a beautiful Thursday pre-beat the Seahawks ass night?
Paul, you sure it's not Wednesday night, or am I confused here? It's Thursday night. I don't know what day it is anymore. I get so confused on these days anymore.
Dave, I tell you what, just like Carrie Underwood says, waiting for, Sunday night, Monday night, whatever the hell she says, I'm waiting for Thursday night, and I know what night it is, Dave. It's Thursday night. It is about to be prime time in Big D, Dave.
Yeah, prime time in Big D. Time to get started. Seattle. Wow. Who'd have thought? Here we go.
Dave, I tell you what, I feel something burning under my ass here because we are on fire tonight.
Yeah, my ass is on fire right now. I feel I'm sweating over here.
Well, Dave, the fire's underneath us. Dallas has been playing like fire at home. 38 points a game here at home, 4-0 at home coming up. Last four, looking great. There is a team called Seattle. Weapons, yes, but Dave, Seattle comes to town. Any ill feelings about this game tonight?
I have a lot of feelings about this game. I got to be honest with you. Tyler Lockett scares me tonight. Metcalf scares me tonight. And thank God there's no Walker because I know I heard he was doubtful, so I don't think he's playing tonight. But
Charbonnet's not bad, Dave.
I know Charbonnet's not bad either, but it depends. To me, it's what Geno Smith are we going to see tonight, and what Dak are we going to see tonight? That's the question.
Very true, very true. Well, Dave, it's about an hour before the game time, correct?
Yeah, about an hour. That's correct. Yep.
You know what, Dave? I'm all about stirring up the pot out there, social media and stuff like that. Hell, I think I'm the only person that's ever been banned off Facebook 3 times. You know what I mean? But,
I think you definitely have the record. That's for sure.
Hey, if not, I'm one of the top 5 out there. 2 years I've been banned twice on bogus, 2 different accounts. So
I don't think I've ever seen somebody get banned as many times as you have. But go ahead.
You know what? Hey, that's what happens when you're a Cowboy fan. Always hated whatever. But. I reached out to people out there. I put a memo out there. Is there any Seahawk fan that is willing to come on the show? But a lot of these Seahawks fans, I got to tell you, man, they hide, dude. They hide. You know what I mean?
Did you actually find one?
I actually did. I don't even know who this guy is, but he's brave enough to come on the show and speak.
Hey, you found a Seahawk fan for this show?
I did. I found a Seahawks fan.
I'm shocked.
But
wow.
Before we bring him on, listen, I know him personally. He's a good.
Oh, he's a friend of yours. Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to bring him on. My good friend John Pugh, a Seahawks fan. How's it going, John?
What's up, guys?
How you feeling?
John, what's up, man?
I don't know how to feel about this game. We're coming off San Francisco, and obviously you guys are hot in Dallas. No Walker, as you said. And we don't know what Geno Smith is going to do. So I don't know how to feel about it.
True. But John, real quick, before we get into this game here, we always talk X and O's and things like that. But I want to ask you, I know you personally. I know, a lot of things about you. We'll talk about, how I met you. We're basically through boxing with Trayshawn Wiggins, of course, through the Castle Boxing Association. Right. But John, let's talk about football here. Why Seattle, John? Why?
Well, this can go a million different ways, but I'll start with a short little analogy. I mean, just to start with the boxing, that's a different sport to begin with. And whenever I first started watching football, my whole family was Steeler fans, and I was just a little kid. And I wanted to be different from everyone. I didn't just want to, fit in with the rest of the Steeler fans at the family dinner, and I wanted to pick a team that, I thought was interesting. And my first ever game that I watched, I can't tell you exactly what it was, but it was roughly 12, 13 years ago. It was like the Russell Wilson, Matt Hasselbeck, and then obviously Russell Wilson gets drafted. And that's whenever we originally started to pick up the identity of like Legion of Boom and Beast Mode and stuff like that. So it wasn't really anything in particular. I just wanted to, pick a team that was different from everyone else, and I stuck with it for as long as I can remember. Through thick and thin, through all the crappy losses and all the good wins. So,
Gotcha.
So was Russell Wilson your favorite quarterback, or just like is that how it came about to be a Seahawks fan?
It wasn't Russell that made me a Seahawks fan, but I did like him because he was unique in his own ways, just like, any other quarterback. I would probably have to say it was the defense that got me. You had Cam Chancellor, Richard Sherman, Earl Thomas, all those guys on the D line. You had Bobby Wagner, who's still playing. You have a bunch
Legion of Boom, right? I get it. Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. Now, my question is to you, real quick, before we talk about something else here. You said you want to be different, brother. There's only one different team in the NFL. It's the Dallas Cowboys. You want to be different. You got to be a Cowboys fan.
Well, as you know, in Pennsylvania, Dallas is kind of hated upon.
Yes.
So
this is true.
Being a younger kid, I mean, you don't want to be a fan of a team that's being too hostile, came at and stuff like that. But I don't know. It was the Seahawks. It's been the Seahawks, and it still is the Seahawks, and I don't plan on changing that anytime soon.
John, are you a Pete Carroll guy?
Here and there. I like Pete Carroll right now, and I know a lot of people don't. I don't necessarily agree with Shane Waldron in the offense right now because I feel like it's kind of hit or miss, and just, I don't know if you guys watch a variety of games, but us previously in the past 3 weeks, we've been very predictable without Kenneth Walker and stuff like that. So I personally like Pete Carroll. Our fan base right now is kind of 50-50. But yeah, I mean, I like him right now. I don't see anything wrong with him. I don't see a need to fire him or anything.
Right. Yeah, I watch all the games, and I think you're very accurate with that. You're very predictable when Kenneth Walker is in the game. We see that a lot, and every team has its tendencies. And right now, it's pretty easy to read the Seattle Seahawks offense right now. Very easy, To a good strategical coach, they could do that. But what I wanted to ask you really quick before we get into the X and O's here, you went down to a game in Baltimore, correct? A couple of weeks ago, correct?
Yeah.
What is it like being on the 12th man's Jumbotron, or what did you make out there? I heard that you made the 12th man program or something, correct?
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I actually didn't even know that until I was up in my seats, which, the NFL media, they make their little skit for before the game starts to make it, hype it up and stuff like that. And I had a guy that I made a hard hat for. He was watching the game out in Seattle, and he sent me a screenshot or like a little, recording of us. Sorry, I have some background noise. But yeah, he got me on camera, and I was like, he's like, is that you? And I was like, yeah, that's me. And I was like, wow, I can't believe I made it on there. Cause believe it or not, the 12s travel well. Seahawks fans travel really well. And I've been to probably 6 to 7 games, and yeah, I mean, it was pretty surreal. It was a cool deal.
Sounds like fun. I mean, we go down to Baltimore. But what was it like down in Baltimore? How are the fans down there?
Out of all the stadiums I've been to, Pittsburgh and Baltimore are probably the worst fan bases I've experienced. I mean, pregame, they're not bad, but if you lose, I mean, you get your typical guys that like to talk, but
right.
They're not too bad. I mean, a lot of their fans are decent. Every team has their bad egg in the dozen.
Sure,
yes, they do. As
I would say, every village has its idiots. You know what I mean?
That's for sure. But in the long run, did you have fun? Was it a good time?
Yeah, it was fun. I mean, we lost by a lot, which we stayed with some Ravens fans, and even they said they didn't see that coming. But it was fun either way. It's just the experience. You don't have to win all the time. So
true, very true, very true. Elite says, that's my boy. What's going on, John?
See, John, you got fans coming at you, bud.
Yeah, he's actually a Steelers fan, and I've been to a game with him before, and that was pretty intense. So
yeah, it's a beautiful place. We're only like about 60 minutes from the stadium here, so it's a beautiful atmosphere here. Real quick to Pittsburgh, but John, let's get into this game, man. I'll start with you. No Kenneth Walker. You talked about Geno Smith. It's hit or miss. What Geno's going to show up. We've been saying that as Dallas fans. What Dak shows up. What are you looking for this game tonight? Let's go offense versus our defense first. I'll let you start.
You want to know what I want to see from our offense?
Yeah. How do you think this game's going to play out with your offense versus our defense at home?
Well, I don't know how it's going to play out, but I think it can go one of two ways. I'd like it to go. Geno Smith is making smart reads. He's not forcing things under pressure. And that falls under Shane Waldron because, whenever Shane Waldron has a good game play calling, so does Geno Smith. So I think Geno Smith has the composure in the time that he started since Russell left. But I don't think that he has necessarily all the confidence that he should have, outside of Shane Waldron's play calling. I feel like if Shane calls up a good play, then it's going to be a good play. If he calls up a bad one, there's nothing Geno can do about it.
Mhm.
With Kenneth being out, I think it's going to be harder for us to establish the passing game because just like San Francisco, we like our play action with Geno. The good thing is we have Tyler Lockett, we have DK, and we have Njigba. And, Charbonnet can run, but, whenever we're running, just like you said. So I think it's all going to fall offensively on Shane Waldron and Geno Smith. We have all the weapons that we need to move the ball. It just comes down to, executing.
Yeah, it's a huge word, execution. Dave, how do you see this game playing out?
Well, before we go there, John, real quick, I have a question for you. I've seen Geno Smith in the past, okay, and I've seen good Geno Smith. I've seen bad Geno Smith. With this Seattle team this year, I haven't really watched Seattle too much, so I got to be honest with you. Has Geno Smith run it all this year? Has he really run out of the pocket as much as I've seen him do it in the past?
Well, no, actually, that's a great question because last year he kind of established a little bit of a running identity, with his passing, and this year he's kind of just played scared. It's almost execution. We haven't been able to execute, and it just seems like the play calling and the execution, there's been a misfire. So,
gotcha.
Yeah, I agree with that too. Looking at now, real quick before Dave, let me ask you real quick. What do you see the expectations of the Seattle's offense versus our defense? What do you see?
Well, like I said, if Geno's running and does his thing, it could be a long night for the Cowboys defense. If he's running, it finds Lockett and finds Metcalf. It could be. Who's our tight end? I'm not really sure.
We got Noah Fant and Will Dissly.
Noah Fant. Okay, I thought it was Noah Fant. That could be a long day for us, Paul. Actually, if Geno's running and does his thing, but if he's in the pocket, I think we can get to him all day long.
Yeah, that's clear to me. I think you have to put pressure on him because Geno hasn't been Geno to run the ball out of the pocket, to extend plays, of course. We haven't seen that, just like John said. But I think it could be a closer game than people expect. But Waldron has to call the right plays. He has to put Geno in position to execute his reads. We talk about Dak, John, all the time. I do personally, saying this guy is not the right quarterback because he looks down receiver one. He forces balls into pockets, clear holes that you can't get a ball in there. To me, I see Geno that same way. They don't call the right plays. He has to read his progression tree, number one. Do you feel that same way with Geno?
Yeah, I do. Geno's hit or miss. Look at whenever we played the Commanders, and the Commanders are not a good team at all, but Geno had an excellent game, and then he comes out the next week and plays terrible. I think Geno, the problem with Geno right now is they're keeping him in the pocket, and he's trying to see. He even said it himself in an interview this week. He needs to quit seeing his receivers open, and he just needs to trust the route. And I think what's happening is he's trying to, like he said, see the receivers open, and we're taking too long in the pocket, and we're just getting sacked. And that's taken away from first, second, and sometimes even third down. So.
Yeah. And that, to me, when a quarterback takes too long, I don't blame the offensive line for that. I call that a covered sack. That's not on the offensive line. That is clearly on your QB. You're taking too much long. You have to have that clock in your head 100%. I agree with that one. But is there a downfall between Kenneth Walker and Charbonnet? I'm a huge college football fan, and I love Charbonnet coming from UCLA. A lot of power, a lot of speed. But are they using Charbonnet the right way? What do you think?
I don't think they've really, had the time and the opportunities to figure him out yet. I think if Kenny misses a couple more weeks, it'll progressively get better before it gets worse. Kenneth Walker and Charbonnet are two different backs. One is explosive and one just likes to run through people. They both like to run through people, but obviously Kenny's a little bit more shifty. He right. If he's about to get tackled by three dudes, he's going to try and spin out of it and run, run to the other side of the field. So I don't know. I feel like Charbonnet's a little bit one-dimensional, and K9's a little bit, more 3D. I don't know. Obviously, I think Kenneth Walker is better, as of right now. Just with experience.
Agree.
He is number one starter, so that's why he would be that going that direction. But my question to you, John, is Metcalf and Lockett. What are you seeing tonight? Do you think big day for them or what?
I wanted to do, my homework and get some stats for you guys on Metcalf and the Cowboys, but I heard something about Metcalf. He always does better against Dallas. So we could see a little bit more of him. He's been having kind of an iffy season, and I think that's just because Geno is kind of lost in his own head right now. And Tyler Lockett too. I mean, it's just kind of been a couple quiet weeks from our receivers.
Yeah.
I just like to kind of see him figure it out.
I have Lockett in fantasy, and then he has not done much for me, but I keep going with him because I keep thinking he's going to have that big day. Now today, I'm thinking that could be today. So I don't know. We'll see.
Another thing is we only had one season with Geno Smith, and you give him all these weapons, and people expect them to learn how to use it right away. And I don't think we've seen the best of the Seahawks yet. I think, we had a good first little, start to the season. And I think we're kind of just in a rough patch right now. And I'm hoping stuff picks up.
Yeah, I agree with that. John, you got a fast car in that Mustang. If nobody's ever driven a Mustang, you give them the first kid the Mustang. It takes time to learn how to drive that animal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's exactly like Geno here. But I want to ask you, John, where they run a lot of 3 wide receiver sets. One back, 3 wide receivers here, which I call a hybrid 13 personnel. But who lines up in your slot a lot for your team?
Recently it's been Jackson Smith. Sometimes they line Tyler Lockett up there for usually play action. But I've seen a lot of 5 wide and spread offense with Geno. And that's normally been in Jigba. And he's been kind of playing well there. So
I think that's where your advantage goes to, honestly, with your slot receiver. Of course, Deron Bland's playing lights out. He's playing great over there. We have Gilmore, which I'm a little suspicious. I was telling Dave on the show last night, if you guys match up DK Metcalf on Gilmore, of course, I think that's an advantage for you guys. Gilmore tends to give up more physical wide receivers, a little yard off the ball, tendencies to play off the ball more. And he doesn't excel with hybrid physical wide receivers. And if you line up, Metcalf on the outside on Gilmore's side and put in Jigba Smith in a slot, he's going to be matched up against one of our safeties, and our safeties haven't been playing that well this year, honestly.
Right. I haven't watched a lot of the Cowboys, to be honest, and that's not biased or anything. I just haven't really caught up to them. I think, with everyone and Geno himself pointing out the senior receivers open mistakes, I think we will see a couple more go balls to Metcalf and the tight ends and Tyler Lockett and stuff like that, because overall, I mean, if the Geno that I know from last year can take the constructive criticism and use it, he's going to throw the routes open, on the go routes and stuff like that, and that's just what he hasn't been doing. I mean, that's why Bland has more touchdowns than Metcalf, so.
And John, the funny thing you said earlier in the show, you said trust your wide receivers. The thing you said also too is throw the ball downfield. I think you have to do that regardless of a completion versus a incompletion. You got to keep that defense for the Dallas Cowboys honest. You have to take your shots downfield, because if you bring 9 in the box and you're not throwing the ball, that could be a long night for Seattle. But you got to play your wide receivers open. And Jigba Smith has lightning speed. Lockett can pinpoint a ball anywhere on the field, and Metcalf can just high point a ball with his physicality. So you have to put the chances down there. Dave, go ahead if you have any questions.
No, I'm you guys are taking it all away from me. I really don't have much. Your running game, John. What about it? What do you think?
Like I said, I don't really know how to feel about it. I hope it picks up for tonight because we're going to need it. But obviously Kenneth Walker's out. Charbonnet was getting the 3rd and 5, 2nd and 5 reps, and then he was out for a couple drives. So I don't know. I mean, whenever we drafted Kenneth Walker, he blew up just like Charbonnet could.
Sure.
So we could see a good night from him tonight. It's just hit or miss. So.
I think the play action opens up so much for the Seattle Seahawks.
Is your offensive line healthy, John, by any chance?
They're bad.
They're bad?
So, okay. Yeah, I was actually going to bring that up to you if you didn't bring it up to me.
No, I figure I'd bring it up eventually.
Yeah, so, I mean, earlier on in the season, we lost Abraham Lucas in the season opener, who played great ball last year. I think the only offensive lineman that has played like every snap, like every game this season was Charles Cross. So our offensive line has been all over the place, and we've still found ways to, have a positive record.
And I think that's going to be a huge advantage to the Dallas Cowboys because Dallas can go 7 deep on that defensive front four. And I think this could be hell for the Seattle Seahawks. I don't want to call them a washed up line. I want to call them a mismatch line because they're not 4 or 5 starters congruent right now. They're plug and play players that just filling a position, and I think Dallas holds the advantage there.
Well, I know they lost Jason Peters last week. That was a big loss for them. I saw him going down. Is he still down or what?
I didn't hear about him. I just know that Abraham Lucas is starting tonight, which he was the starter at the beginning of the season. So we'll see how he does tonight on the right side.
Yep. Let's flip it real quick before you know what, Dave? How about we do some really quick things here? How about we talk about our sponsors real quick?
Yeah, good idea.
Definitely. Let's talk about our sponsors. Monkey Cold Coffee, the evolution of flavor-infused coffee. 3 great flavors: bourbon, chocolate chip, toasted coconut rum, Samaritan blend, and the newest flavor, organic flavor, Peru, Florida. Make sure you use promo code OTBS Sports at monkeycoldcoffee.com. Before you slide over that checkout, get to the swag shop. Get a key t-shirt, coffee mug, travel diffuser, K-Cup diffuser, cold beer diffuser. Then you swag over there and hit the checkout at monkeycoldcoffee.com. OTBS Sports is the promo code for your 10% off as well. Also, if you're in need of a lawyer in Philadelphia or New Jersey, please reach out to my good friend, 1-800-HURT-123, Jersey Big Al, attorney Jason Fine. Motor vehicle accident, slip and fall, workman's comp, personal injury claims, 3 convenient locations throughout Pennsylvania and New Jersey. First in New Jersey, Cherry Hill, New Jersey, right over the Tacony Bridge there. Of course, Philadelphia, PA, 1628 JFK, and also Philadelphia, PA, 500 Grant Street. Make sure you give them a call, 1-800-HURT-123. If you're injured out there, make sure you tell them Out of the Box sent you. No recovery, no fee. One of our live operators answers the call, guaranteed. If we take your case, it's 33 and 3%. So make sure you reach out to Jason Fine, 1-800-HURT-123. So let's get back. Big Al. But now let me flip the script with you real quick here, John. We talked about your offense versus this defense, what you would like to see, but how does your defense match up? I mean, your secondary, I love your secondary. They're young, they're ball hawks. How does your defense match up with this elite offense scoring 38 points at home with the Dallas Cowboys?
Well, that's a great question because I that's what I like about this matchup tonight. You got Witherspoon, who is league as a rookie. I mean, he's not leading the league, in overall stats, but as a rookie, he's leading right now. I think he's got like 3 sacks and a pick 6. So, and then you got Woolen. I mean, Woolen hasn't been able to tackle lately, but obviously he knows how to pick off the ball. You got Jamal Adams, who, subs in at linebacker and he sniffs out like, the swing routes and the inside runs and stuff like that. Who else do you got? You got Diggs. Diggs plays that inside third up top really well. And we just got a lot of depth. You got Trey Brown at third and fourth string cornerback. And then obviously you got the Dallas Cowboys with CeeDee Lamb and Brandon Cooks and, all them guys. So that's mainly why I think, the rosters match well, just because there's talent everywhere on both sides of the ball.
One thing I want to ask you, John, real quick. Now, I know I'm a big Witherspoon fan coming from Illinois. I love how the kid plays. He's physical. He can tackle. He's not afraid to put his helmet in there and get banged up, make a play. But let me ask you this. A lot of corners, they don't switch sides anymore. They play left or right. They don't swing back and forth. Man goes across. They let him, go all the way through. Next man picks him up. I haven't watched a lot of Witherspoon lately. Does he stay on one side or does he control as the progression goes through? Does he follow through?
Well, it depends on the coverage that they're running. Like, they'll kind of swap Woolen and Witherspoon around, and sometimes they'll drop, like, Woolen down into the slot and, to play, like, an underneath zone.
Gotcha.
Sometimes they'll blitz Witherspoon from the nickel. Yeah, so, I mean, they kind of have been playing him everywhere, and that's why he's been so, effective.
Yeah, they're utilizing him. That's what he did at Illinois. He was a great hybrid corner that came off the ball, too. I think he had 5 sacks his senior year at Illinois, which made him one of the top cornerbacks coming into the draft that year that you guys got him.
Right, and he's a great tackler.
He is. Dave?
John, real quick, I can see our offense running the ball pretty much on you guys all day. Can you see that? I mean, I can see a lot. I'm going to see a lot of Tony Pollard tonight, and I think I'm going to see a lot of Rico. What do you think?
I think you guys pass the ball, honestly, better tonight than you do run the ball. I just think coming off that loss to San Fran, they're going to be on it a little bit more. And obviously we have that veteran linebacker in the middle, Bobby Wagner.
Yes.
and he got his identity through tackling. So I think he's going to have the guys on, on the ball tonight as far as running the ball against us and stuff like that. So it could go either way.
Right. I hear you. I just think I'm seeing a running game because our running game the last couple games has been getting better, and I think that's where we're going to go with that until McCarthy starts to throw the ball a little bit.
Yeah,
So,
I'm going to go with what John said there. I think after last week's game with the Seattle Seahawks playing the Niners there, CMC had his way. It was just a running complete game there, and I think that
no doubt.
They're going to put Bobby Wagner in the box. They might bring that extra linebacker down into the box, or the extra safety to bring 9 in the box, 8 in the box, whatever you might want to say there. But I think Dallas does struggle running the ball tonight. That takes away, the running game there.
I don't think so.
I think it's going to be passing tonight. I really do, because
either way, it's fine with me. I'm okay with it. But I just a lot of Tony Pollard tonight. I see that. I could be wrong.
I think it's going to be opposite. I think it's going to be a little bit more passing tonight, because the key to me is that slot. Just like John, you said, Woolen comes down to that slot. He plays the slot a lot. Well, you're going to be matched up against CeeDee Lamb in that slot, and nobody's done that yet to stop him. They can control him a little bit, but you can't. You can contain him, but you really can't stop him. And I think that is going to be the X factor right there, the man in the middle, and it could be either Ferguson, Schoonmaker, or CeeDee Lamb in the slot.
Well, as long as Dak's looking at his receivers, we should be okay.
Should. Mm-hmm.
Should.
Yeah. Yep. What do you see about that, John? How do you feel about CeeDee in the slot? How do you stop that kid?
I mean, we've had a couple good matchups this year. Witherspoon on Jamar Chase, which they don't play the same role on offense.
Sure.
They're not the same receiver, but I think Witherspoon held Chase to 3 yards, and he got targeted like 3 or 4 times.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it'd be a good matchup. It's just who's going to execute, who's going to play better on the ball. Is it going to be Woolen, or is it going to be Trey Brown, or is it going to be Witherspoon? And are they going to be able to stop him? There's always that chance the CD goes off. There's that chance that, we get a pick.
He could.
Yeah. Right. Mm-hmm. Right. So.
All right. Well, how about, the game's on in about 30 minutes here. How about we talk about some final predictions here? John, you wouldn't give me a final prediction on, my show on the Pick'em show. So you wanted to bring the madness here. So what kind of madness are we talking about with your prediction first for this game tonight?
I'm not, too sure on a score, because the Seattle Seahawks keep it close no matter if they're playing a good team or a bad team. So if I had to take the Seahawks to win, it would probably be maybe 24-28. Just I'm shooting some scores out here, maybe 17-21.
Okay.
Anything can happen. Like I said, this is a good matchup. Even though we're not the hottest team right now, I think we could get it together. I think the offense gets back on track. Geno Smith. I think Geno Smith has a good game passing. I don't think our run game is going to be too explosive. I'll give credit where credit's due, and your defense is great. Defensively, I think our defense matches up well against your offense, so that's why I'm going to keep it a little bit closer and possibly even an upset.
Okay. I can respect that score you gave me. I can respect that. 28-24. Dave, what's your score on this game?
I think last night I said 24-17 Cowboys. I'm going to stick with that.
24-17. Yeah. Okay, still go with last night.
Yeah, I'm going to stick with that.
I'm going to go 34-26 Cowboys. I think it's going to be closer than people think. As a betting man, I would take that. John, we talk all the time about betting, back and forth. I think tonight, Seattle plus 9.5 is a smart bet. Thursday night games have been kind of wacky lately. There hasn't really been a point spread winner in the last 6 or 8 weeks here. So I would take Seattle plus the 9.5, but I'm going to go 34-26 Cowboys. But I think a little close.
John, real quick, are you surprised that the line was 9.5? Are you surprised about that or not?
No, because we've been underdogs for most of the competitive matchups that we've had, and we've won a couple of them. So I'm not really too worried about the betting lines.
Mm-hmm.
I think we were 6.5 point underdogs against Detroit and beat them in overtime.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Is it high? Is it low to in your eyes? Or what are you saying? Like, do you think it's too high of a number?
The last time I seen it was like 10 something. I think 9's reasonable considering the fact that we don't have Ken Walker and we're game losing streak. But I think Paul mentioned it before. Seattle's dangerous whenever they're underdogs, and it's a primetime game. And statistically, we're great, under the lights. So
Okay.
And the thing is, Vegas looks at, like I said, John and I always talk about betting here, trying to get John out of betting real quick, but we always talk about that, John. That's like a side thing we do. But well, the way I look at it is Vegas is looking at your last game against the Niners. They're saying, wow, that was a total dismantlement. Dallas is playing great at home here. It has to go both ways. 9.5 to me is really too high. I would probably go with Seattle, of course, with the 9.5, but I think it's probably about a 7 to 8 point win here. Seattle could possibly win this game. I get afraid saying one thing. Dave yells at me for this one. We play the Eagles next week. To me, it could possibly be a look forward to next week's game. That's what scares me.
I'm not going that far. I don't think so.
Never know. Never know.
No, you never know. You're right, and anything can happen. I get it. It's just, to me, John, I mean, with our offense been scoring, 30, 35 points a game, especially at home.
38.
Okay, 38. I knew it was in the 30 somewhere. Mm-hmm. Okay. I just it's been explosive. I don't see that changing. I just don't. I could be wrong, but I mean, you're telling me that Seattle's good under the lights. I'm not going to take that away from you. I agree with that. Seattle's tough at times, and like I said, it depends what Geno Smith you get. But do you think this Geno Smith is going to be actually, going to really take control tonight?
I mean, like I said, I don't know, because it's been a weird last two games, but I do think Geno Smith gets back on track, and I think the defense plays well, and that's why I think I'm going to keep it close as far as.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think it's a trap game. A trap game to me.
No, I don't think so either.
Let's say go back, 6 weeks ago when we played Arizona, looking forward to the following week with the Niners. That to me is a trap game when you're playing a less focused team, a less, elite team. Seattle is a good team, regardless of the record.
They are good. They're very good.
I wouldn't call it a trap game. If it was the Arizona Cardinals or a Jets team right now, that would be a trap game to me. But, I just don't see that happening. But, John, I want to ask you real quick, what are you doing Saturday afternoon? Are you doing anything special?
I'm going to be watching the Trigger Trey fight.
You mean this fight right here?
Yeah, I'm gonna be
okay.
Right
all right. Well, listen, hey, Trayshawn usually checks in all the shows here. We always talk about him. You train with Trayshawn as well, but hey, give me some words to Trayshawn out there, brother, because we know he's defending that strap to Saturday night, against Chris Howard here. So give him some kind words. Give him some words out there, brother.
Trey, I just, if you're watching this, I just hope that you stay confident and you and Brock and the team just get the job done and, retain the belt and bring it back home.
Definitely. Yeah, he's a good dude, man. He's very humble, John. Put it that way, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a great dude. I mean, I've met him a couple times, been training around him, and he's just overall a good dude.
Yeah, he's a good dude. I mean, we talk all the time. It's like this. He was just on the show a couple of nights ago. We were talking to him and Brock as well. And man, great team that he has behind him, and everybody at Castle is awesome. Yeah.
So John training with the champ. I love it. It's great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Brock's a great coach too. Shout out to Brock.
Definitely, Brock out there. Yep. Well, hey, John, listen, man, I appreciate you hopping on here, brother. I wish you well on your team tonight. Not too good,
not too well.
But, I wish that you come out, healthy, of course, and I wish you well, brother. And I love that. Where's your mask at, brother? You have your mask with you?
Yeah, I'll grab it right here.
Dave, you got to check this mask out.
He has a mask. I can't wait to see this.
I'll slide it on for you guys.
Personally made. He made it himself. This thing is awesome. I love looking at this.
Very exciting.
It's actually kind of scary. So if you have kids, put them to bed real quick, because this thing might be a little bit scary for our PG-13 viewers. Check this thing out.
Wow.
Personally made. John, you made that personally, correct?
Oh my gosh.
I think it's bad, man. I love that thing.
That is cool. That's cool, John. Nice.
That is
very nice.
A proud member of the 12th man there, brother.
Hey, nothing wrong with that. Actually, John, real quick before you leave us, I have a friend out that lives in Seattle. His name's Sean. He's a big Seahawks fan. Just throw it out there.
Awesome.
Definitely.
So John, I wish you guys luck too. I mean, obviously not too much, like you said, but I just hope it's a good game. I think last week's game against San Francisco was a letdown. So I just hope it's a good game.
My thing, John, is this what I always say to, everybody that I've ever coached or all my friends that I say, I try to keep it real. But my thing is, coming off that loss last week, you guys are hungry. You guys didn't look well. But a wounded dog is the most vicious animal in the corner trying to fight its way out. And that's what you guys are right now. Dallas, on the other hand, playing great football. What could be better? There is no letdown. And that scares me a lot when you have a
Let's continue to play great football.
I hope so. But hey, listen, as we always do this real quick, we have about 2 minutes left in the show here. Dave, I'm gonna not start with you tonight. I'm going to
Ooh.
give my man John here the final thoughts on anything, any shout outs you want to do. You have 60 seconds for your final thoughts on this game or in personal, whatever you want to do, John. Your final thoughts for 60 seconds, brother.
One last thing about the game. I think, I don't want to be, arrogant or too overly confident, but I think the Seattle Seahawks are a better matchup that you guys have had the past couple weeks.
True.
So that's I think it's just going to be a good game because I think it'll be a little bit of a wake-up call the first couple quarters for you guys because, I don't think they're going to underestimate us, but I think, obviously we're the underdog. And I'd also like to shout out Elite Ninja. His actual name is Brody Eller.
Gotcha.
Steelers fan, but still love him. Great friend. So, and I just want to shout my boys out, the Seahawks, and hope we win. So
definitely. Well, Dave, you know what? It's time for your final thoughts here, brother.
Final thoughts. Let's just get out of this game with healthy. Let's get the win and move on. That's all I got.
Wow, that was pretty quick tonight, Dave.
Hey,
Hey, well, my final thoughts are this, man.
Quick and simple.
Come out with the victorious game here, injury-free. Both sides of the team. I hate injuries on both sides of the ball, number one. And also my last kind words would be, just like John said, Trayshawn, man, it's time. Just like your mom said on the show a year ago, ring the bell, brother. Bring home the strap back to Johnstown here because you are one of the faces that we all enjoy seeing. And there is no better way. I don't care how many times they change your opponent. You already know you got the best corner in your corner, basically with Brock and your other trainer down there as well. And you got the city of Johnstown behind you, brother. So go out December 2nd, bring home the strap because, after that, Trayshawn will be doing our show on our network coming up pretty soon.
Good luck, champ.
Yes, so definitely he'll be doing a show on our network coming soon. So you guys make sure you tune into that. Coming in the Trigger Response, him and Ali, his son will be on the show as well. So make sure you're kind to that as well on our Out of Box Smokes Entertainment here. Make sure you subscribe, YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. We're all over the place. New shows coming. So make sure you follow us on all social media platforms. And last kind words for you, John, even though we hate this. Adam Glenn. Yeah, I love you, Adam. I love you for checking in for all of our shows, brother. He says go Hawks because he hates the Dallas Cowboys. So, of course, I'm going to get that out of Adam.
That's all right.
Way to go, Adam.
Hey, John, once again, brother, I appreciate you hopping on, man. You're part of the Out of the Box family now. So, whenever you want to hop on, let us know. I know you follow all sports as well. So don't be a stranger, brother.
Okay, awesome. Thank you, guys. It was definitely fun and best of luck and good meeting you, Dave.
Yeah, John, same here, man. And good luck with you working out with Trigger and everything else. I hope everything works out for you.
I appreciate it.
Definitely.
No problem, man.
All right, guys, thanks for tuning in. My name is Paul Spencer. That is the showstopper, Dave Yarnell. And then as our newest member over there, John Pugh, member of the 12-man family. So, guys, we'll see you next week. Of course, Dave and I will be on later tonight about 11:30 with the post-game show after talking about the Dallas Cowboy victory. So, Dave, you ready to get out of here, brother?
Yep, let's do it.
Dave, as we always say, how do we get out of here?
Go, boys, go.
You already know. We'll see you later tonight. Thanks for tuning in.
See you guys.
Bye.